Hey guys, welcome to Season 6 of the Midwest Fantasy Football League. I've decided to do the video on YouTube for the weekly recaps. I'm thinking that it's going to be a little less time commitment for me. The write-ups usually take me a lot of time. I'm hoping that I can just record these, dump them on YouTube, and then that's it for the week. We'll see how it goes. Maybe it's going to be annoying and it takes forever to upload on my potato internet, but we'll see what happens. And see if I can actually look at the camera. That'll help. So, week 1, we have Drew coming out of last place from last year and taking down the week 1 high score. Very impressive. Giving me quite the throttling this week. He put up 127.22 points, taking me down and putting me down a peg as commish. Gronky Kong takes the loss this week. I only put up 92.26 points myself. I can squarely put the blame for my loss at the hands of Mr. Andy Dalton. I was very excited in the draft to get Andy Dalton, and that didn't really work out for me with my negative 3 points this week as he completely shit the bed against Baltimore. So Drew had a really nice week this week. He managed to put up 26 points from Tyreek Hill in the Thursday night game versus New England, which was pretty impressive considering New England was supposed to be good. Turns out not so much. This week's closest game, Brandon and Saved by the Bell took down Scott / Pope 1.0. Brandon put up a 80-point game, 80.44 versus Scott's 75.44. Pope 1.0 was really hurt in this loss as he put up a 0 spot from his kicker. Adam Vinatieri this week managed to put up a 0 spot because he made a short field goal, missed a short field goal, and missed an extra point. Not exactly what you're looking for from your kicker spot. That 5 points would have been very beneficial to take the lead. 5 points exactly was the margin of defeat for him. Brandon's team looked good this week. They got good performance out of Jordy Nelson. Jonathan Stewart keeping his job and not losing it to the rookie in Carolina. Guest appearance from the Steve Cat. This week's biggest blowout, Chris with Bow Hunter, came right out and kept up from last season after dominating most of the regular season last year. Coming out and throttling T-Bowing 747 Nick by a, 36-point margin or something like this. Not exactly a close game. Chris put up 105 points this week with Antonio Brown leading the way with 26.7 points. Also contributing was most of his team, as the only one who scored less than 6 points was Tyler Eifert, who put up a lousy 0.9 at the tight end position. Nick had a couple good performances as well, mostly from Will Lutz, his kicker, whereas his defense of New England and his tight end as well, Eric Ebron, didn't help a lot with only 1.9 points. And I also happen to notice of all of his wide receivers that he started this week, his benched receiver of Rashard Matthews, not Jordan Matthews, put up the most points with 9.8 points. I wonder what happened there. In other matchups this week, Derek took down Lee by a 14-point margin. Jason took down Josh by a 12-point margin, and Andy took down defending champion Pope 2.0 by a 2-point. Oh man, fucking A. This week's closest game, actually, the Gridiron Junkies taking down the second coming, the defending champion, by a scant 1.5 margin. This matchup featured Andy's team, Gridiron Junkies, being led by Golden Tate. Golden Tate put up 107 yards this week, leading the Gridiron Junkies to the win. Even in the loss, there were a couple of huge performers for Pope 2.0, putting up 21 points from LaShawn McCoy and 24 points from Stephon Diggs. Drew, congratulations on claiming the Week 1 prize. You pick up $20 for the high score this week. This upcoming week features a couple of interesting matchups as we've got Dak Deuce currently sitting in first place taking on defending champion, the second coming, Eric. We'll see if he can manage to hold on to this first place or if Week 1 was just a fluke. We've got a battle between T-Bowing 747 and I win because y'all drafted. Nick versus Josh, a battle for last place at the moment. Who would have thought that before the year? Nick. We'll see you pull out fourth somehow this way. Somehow, I'm sure you'll still figure that out. As for wagers on the season, right now we only have a couple on the board. Nick and I have made wagers on both of our matchups because we've got 2 leagues against each other this year. So those are going to be week 3 and week 8. Additionally, we made a wager this week as we were discussing whether or not Paul Perkins was a potato. I decided that I thought Frank Gore was less of a potato than Paul Perkins, and Frank Gore outscored Paul Perkins in week 1 in the scoring system that we used 6-3. So for getting behind my boy Frank the Floor Gore, I pulled down a prize of a beer. Woohoo indeed. So we'll see how these videos cut together, and if it takes forever to upload and I have to do a ton of video editing, maybe we'll keep it around. Maybe I'll do only 1 week, but for now, we're going to see how it goes. So I guess that's it, and we'll see what happens. Peace. This might be cobbled together like a piece of crap. We'll see what happens.